What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today we have BTC falling, losing our downward sloping trend line, and I want to discuss what that means for the markets. But first, I wanted to zoom out here on the stock markets and just to get a better idea of the bigger picture of what is going on with the markets, including stocks, commodities, and crypto. So if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. Be sure to hit the like button and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. All right, guys, let's get into it. So this is the weekly chart on the SPY, and so I wanted to zoom out here to the weekly just to give you a better understanding why I believe the S&P could hit 6,000 and the SPY could hit over 600 here, and it is because of this massive cup and handle pattern that we have playing out right here uh, on the SPY. So if we just take a measurement of that cup and handle and we put it up here, well, you can see that gives us a target somewhere above, just above 600 on the SPY. And if we take a look at the triple Qs, QQQ, same thing playing out here. We have a target of around 543 on the Qs currently, but right now, today the markets are pulling back slightly. It looks like we could be going for a little pullback here on the markets. I do think that is a real possibility here in the coming days and possibly next week or two. But beyond that, I think the markets continue to move up is the most likely scenario. All eyes will be on Tesla after the close today, so that'll be something to keep an eye on. We know Tesla is continuing to coil, and it is supposed to have uh, a pretty big move after the earnings. So we'll see if we get that gap fill to the upside. And another stock I wanted to mention is MSTR because MSTR has really been ripping here lately, currently sitting at 215. I would like to see MSTR possibly come back down to retest this area one more time before moving higher. Nevertheless, I still think that MSTR is one of the better stocks out there when you consider what is going on with Bitcoin and what Michael Saylor has been doing with that company as far as purchasing on uh, low interest debt. So that's something to keep in mind. So I do think MSTR will continue to move much higher. And another stock I wanted to point out today is SMCI because we do have this little inverse head and shoulders pattern here shaping up on the daily chart. So that means if we do break out, we could see SMCI go to around $64 here in the coming days and weeks. And I do think that if the stock market does continue to move higher, we know this is led by the Magnificent Seven, and the semiconductors have done really well. And I do think that you will start to see uh, SMCI do very well as well. Uh, it has sold off quite a bit since the peak, but nevertheless, I do think there is the opportunity for a good day trade coming up here on SMCI, or if you're a longer term based investor or trader, I do think this is a good entry as we are starting to see uh, higher lows and higher highs be put in since the pullback. So that's something to keep in mind. But I really wanted to talk about this chart right here today because uh, we know that China is probably going to be doing more stimulus here in the near future over the next couple months or so. So that's something to keep in mind. And HSI is seeing a little bounce here today. Um, so I do think that there is a possibility that we do continue to see this market go up. Will it find support here? We'll have to keep an eye out and see. But nevertheless, it is looking fairly good right now for the HSI. There is a possibility that we do pull back a little further on this. So that's something to keep in mind. But a lot of investors are starting to look at those China stocks such as uh, BABA and Baidu. So those are a couple stocks that I've been keeping an eye on, and I do think they could uh, outperform the market here, possibly in the coming weeks and months, or even as a longer term position, as the China market, as we've been mentioning here, does seem to have turned a corner here in the past year. So that is also something to keep in mind as China continues to stimulate their economy. And they are saying that they are projecting to do over 10 trillion yuan stimulus. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that, and that would also be good for some other markets such as copper. Copper kind of indicated this last move out of China, and so keeping an eye on the copper markets here. Looking to see if we can hold this area. It does look like we are finding some support here from these previous resistance. I could go ahead and put in another little uh, area there just to highlight that area because it does seem like that area is holding up. I'm just looking here at my levels to see exactly where they are, and it is not going to allow me to do it. So I'll take care of that later. But nevertheless, I do think we could see a bounce here on copper in the coming weeks and months. So I am keeping an eye out on that. And a lot of the other metals markets have been doing very well lately. We know that gold has been ripping. We are starting to see a little pullback here on the daily on gold. So I do think that gold is probably just a bit overextended currently. So I would like to see it pull back, maybe come back down to this area here and retest this 2600 to say 2650 area. I do think that we could see a little pullback on gold, but nevertheless, gold has been breaking all-time highs nearly continuously here for the past month or so, as well as silver also finally breaking out here. And I did zoom out on this chart as well, even though this is the daily. You do see that we had this massive inverse head and shoulders pattern, which we mentioned a long time ago here on this channel. And if you just take a measurement of that pattern, well, then you can see that we pretty much hit our target almost perfectly of right around 34.50 on silver. So that has been a great trade. Uh, so yeah, the metals markets are heating up. We do have higher price targets for gold and silver over the next year or so. Um, so that will be something to keep an eye on. If you're interested in trading stocks, commodities, or crypto, you can do so with Robinhood. Right now, Robinhood is offering 3 different offers of unlimited earning potential. So for the next 12 days, you can get 3% on IRA transfers with Robinhood, 2% on the gold service that they have with a minimum of $10,000 margin balance, and 1% on brokerage transfers. What I like about Robinhood is they allow you to begin investing and building your portfolio with just only $1. They allow you to invest in stocks, options, and ETFs, and trade commission free. Plus, they offer crypto such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, and many more, as well as gold. If you're interested, there is a link down in the description below. Also, when you use that link, you do receive an additional free fractional share of a stock. So I do appreciate it. But let's move on into Bitcoin and crypto and discuss what is going on there, because I really wanted to focus again more on the weekly charts here, just to get a little bit better idea. It's always good to zoom out when you're not sure which way the markets are moving. And so that's what I wanted to focus on in today's video. Right now, the Bitcoin weekly chart shows us that we have this giant flag pattern, and it is also a cup and handle if we zoom out some more. But nevertheless, we do have this area right here around 60 to 64,000 dollars acting as potentially acting as support now. We have been putting in a series of higher lows and higher highs here over the past uh, few weeks now, so the sentiment has kind of shifted here. Not a lot of people are talking about this. It's not being searched a lot on Google, but nevertheless, Bitcoin does appear to be breaking out of this flag pattern, as we saw on the daily here, and I've been mentioning in my past few videos. Um, but yeah, really, we did suspect that we would see a little pullback, and we thought that we may pull back towards that $65,000 level. There is the potential that we could pull back a little more, so we'll go back to the daily chart just to show you that. But you can see here that this 50 or 65 $900 level is acting as some sort of support, and we mentioned that that $65,000 level may do so as well. There is more support down here around this $63,000 to $64,000 range, so that I do think is a possibility. Nevertheless, I still think this is the start of a breakout for Bitcoin. We know that the Q4 is typically very strong for Bitcoin and crypto. And if we take a look at the others chart on the daily, we broke out of this downwards sloping channel. As we mentioned, we thought that whenever we started to see this breakout, that we may come back down and get a retest, and this is what you're starting to see on several of the altcoins, and we are starting to put in a series of higher lows and higher highs on some of these coins. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, you have this article that was posted over on X by Bitcoin Magazine, and it says Bernstein predicts Bitcoin will hit $200,000 in 2025, calling the forecast conservative. So it's interesting to see some of these bigger analysts now are starting to predict some higher prices on Bitcoin. I still have a conservative target of around $100,000 to $120,000 on Bitcoin, but I do consider that a very conservative target. I really don't think you're going to see anything less than a six-figure Bitcoin within the next year. Nevertheless, some of these altcoins are starting to move, so I did want to zoom out to the weekly chart on some of these altcoins. This is Solana, and again on the weekly chart, we had this little inverse head and shoulders here when we zoomed into the daily, starting to break out of that. So it does look like Solana is going to move back up to the top side of the trading range here, right around $200, possibly here in the next couple days or weeks. Ethereum also was starting to show a little bounce here. Again, this is a weekly chart, but we thought that when we broke out of this downward sloping trend here, that we might see Ethereum hold. It hasn't. It is pulling back, sitting at 2,500. Nevertheless, we knew there was the possibility that that may happen if Bitcoin did pull back. And so I think that's what we're seeing right now. And really, we just want to see Ethereum continue to put in a series of higher lows and higher highs, similar to what we saw on the Bitcoin chart. I do think that Ethereum will go back up to this $3,000 level here fairly soon. Another altcoin to look at is Near Protocol. So this one did really well earlier this year. As you can see here, we never everything started running in crypto at the end of last year into the spring of 2024. This one did nearly 700, a little over 700%. This is a newer altcoin. Nevertheless, it does play into that AI narrative and has recently been listed on I Trust Capital. So I just wanted to point this one out because I hadn't really spoke about this one much. I've only brought it up once here on the channel, I believe. Nevertheless, as you can see, we are starting to bounce off that 618 area, which typically acts as a great buying entry, and we are starting to put in a series of higher lows on the longer term time frame. So Near Protocol looks like it's a kind of at a good spot entry price, and I do think this is one of those that will perform well during this crypto cycle. Of course, a lot of these coins I'm just trading for this cycle. I want to make that clear because I don't necessarily consider all these a long-term investment. Maybe Solana or something like Ethereum, but some of these other altcoins I'm really just looking to trade during this cycle, which I do suspect will last for the next 6 to 12 months, probably peaking later in 2025. Another coin is Chainlink, and Chainlink, um, to be honest, it's been a little disappointing here recently. I thought it would do a little better, but this is one of those actual altcoins that does have some functionality. Actually has a lot of functionality because it has the ability to link several of these different chains together. So it does have a lot of use function, unlike a lot of some of the junk coins out there. So I do see Chainlink doing pretty well this cycle. It just seems to lag behind some of the other uh, faster moving coins or narratives such as Solana. Nevertheless, I do think that Chainlink will probably go up to this first take profit zone right around 18 to $19 here, probably in the coming weeks. I do think that we are going to start seeing crypto move here very soon. If you're interested in buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink, and many more, you can do so with iTrust Capital. iTrust Capital allows you to buy, sell, and trade crypto, gold, and silver 24/7 in a low cost, no monthly fee, tax advantage IRA. What I like about iTrust is they allow you to roll over a portion or all of your 401k or IRA with them. Plus, they actually have people you can call and talk to, and they have over 5,000 plus 5-star reviews on Google. If you're interested in using iTrust Capital, you can use the link down in the description below and receive an additional $100 when you sign up. All right, guys, don't forget to go follow me over on X at mindofthefinancier. I am Mind of the Financier on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And it is Wednesday, guys, so feel free to drop a comment down below. If there's any stocks, commodities, or cryptos you want me to take a look at, I can do that. I will do so. So I'll try to bring some of those up here on the channel. I will be taking your request. And yeah, it's hump day, so halfway through the week. So until next time, guys, take care, be legendary, and peace out.